Welcome everyone. Excited to have you here. Hello. It's Nadine with Black Travel Alliance. I'm one of the board members, and we have Jeff Jenkins here. Welcome from Chubby Diaries. He's going to be our speaker today for our webinar, just having everybody get a chance to get in. Welcome. This is our first webinar of 2021. Happy to have everyone. All right, so we're gonna just do some introductions before we get started. So we'll give people a chance to log on. So again, I'm Nadine White. I'm one of the founding members and board members of Black Travel Alliance. I'm also the vice chair of the events and training events team. So for those of you that may be joining us for the first time, the Black Travel Alliance is a global organization of Black travel content creators, and we're here to shake things up in the travel industry, which we have already, considering we've only been around for about 7 months. We were formed last June, and basically our goal is to increase, we're here to increase diversity and inclusion basically in the travel industry and increase opportunities for Black travel content creators. And last year we started with our Pull Up for Travel campaign that got a lot of attention. And we basically asked brands to really show us what they're doing to increase opportunities for Black travel content creators. And from there, we've kind of kept our foot on the pedal. And we've done a lot since then. We do webinars. We did them once a month last year, and we're going to continue about every other month this year. So definitely look out for educational webinars. Last year, we did our first big, huge networking event with brands called Wavelength, where we connected Black travel content creators with brands all over the world to give them opportunities. We've continued this year with connecting travel content creators with hotels and travel organizations for opportunities. Please make sure you join BTA so that you will get access to our newsletter, because that is where we send out a lot of opportunities. And I will supply that link before the webinar is over. We also post opportunities on our social media. Our Instagram is where you primarily will find those opportunities, but it's really important that you join our organization because we're also setting up a membership directory. So our members are going to have first access to all of these opportunities. So that is a little bit about Black Travel Alliance, and I'll throw the links up before the webinar is over. And so talking about Jeff Jenkins of Chubby Diaries, who has been extremely successful in just 2 years on the scene. We love Jeff. He's also a founding member and board member of Black Travel Alliance, and he is Chubby Diaries. He says he's a businessman, which he obviously is, but he's also a huge influencer, and he's really been a huge asset to us and really been a huge asset to the travel community in terms of inclusivity. He actually just last night was named travel huge influencer in travel for Travel Pulse, and he was listed among presidents and CEOs. For 2021, I actually was really impressed. He was given the award of Best in Travel from Lonely Planet, the Diversity and Inclusivity Award. You can find him in Travel and Leisure and many other travel publications, including New York Times, Travel Noir, Essence, Matador Network. He was in print actually in Travel and Leisure last year, which was just awesome. He's grown his brand from 0 to over 40,000 in just 2 years. So he's done big things in just 2 years, and continues to get awards. Every time I blink, I see another award, and he's on another list. So he's going to talk to us about how to build your travel brand. And so here is Jeff Jenkins.
Oh man, maybe I just got emotional, y'all. Like that, that hit. That definitely just hit because I don't think. Oh man, I'm all in my feelings, y'all. I'm sorry. It got me this morning. Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? My name's Jeff Jenkins. Real quick housekeeping rules before I even dive into it. If y'all can stay on mute the whole time, that will be great as I do the presentation. If you have questions, What you could do is go ahead and put your questions into the chat, and we'll have Nadine and some other people that's a part of BTA that will help facilitate the question and answering portion. So yeah, please, those are like the quick like how-tos and or getting ready to go with this. And I'm going to share my screen now so we can go ahead and hop into this, because we got a lot to talk about and we don't have a lot of time. So I want to be able to get to all your questions as much as possible. Once again, real quick, can y'all let me know in the chat where y'all from? And yeah, so I love seeing where people are from. So yeah, really quickly in the chat, let me know where y'all are from. That is always something I like to see. Let's see here. Oh, we got Nashville in the house. Oceanside, what's up? ATX. Ooh, Stacy, you from ATX? Oh, girl, stop it. I ain't even know. What's that, Stacy? What up, friend? London, wow. See, I love this, y'all. This is the one thing I love about the travel community. Toronto in the house, Los Angeles, Southern Cal, London, Oakland. Woo! I love it. Like I was saying before, this is the one thing I love about the travel community is that we're all over. Like, and it's great. So this networking part, this building the brand, getting to meet these people is all a part of the brand. And so today we are talking about how to build a brand. This is a BTA webinar series. And this is like learn how to create a brand that stands out from the crowd. My name is Jeff Jenkins. Let me see if I can get this thing to work because it's acting a little stupid. Let me see. Let's move it. All right. Oh, all right, guys, we ain't moving here. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. Let's see, guys. I think something just happened. Okay, there we go. I like seeing these little arrows. Try this all over again. Oh no. Like nothing's moving. Let me see if I exit and come back in. Let's see what happens. There we go. Can y'all see this? Thumbs up if this is great. Here we go. Yeah, so I know Nadine just gave most of it just then. But yeah, I'm an award-winning travel and food expert. I started Chubby Diaries back in 2018. So at towards the end of the year of 2018, back in October 23rd was that time. I've traveled to over 38 countries. I've been featured in Forbes. Actually, I didn't even change that since then. I think I've been in it now 4 times. New York Times. I've done a webinar for Google. I've been featured in Washington Post, USA Today, Travel and Leisure 3 times. The Points Guys, and many more. I'm also a writing contributor for all of these different posts, or these for a lot of these different publications. I'm one of the founding board members of BTA, and like Nadine just said, one of my greatest moments or proudest moments I've even had, because I just celebrated a birthday on Thursday, and we do this thing where we do the birthday questions of like, what was one of your most proud, or what is your proudest moment of like that year, that birthday? And I can definitely say being named as one of the 30 most influential people in travel, that definitely did it for me. So talk to y'all a little bit about Chubby Diaries, but before we even do that, go ahead and whip them phones out. If you're on a computer and y'all see that little QR code, if you ain't following me, please go ahead and follow me on Instagram. That'd be great. Y'all would make my day. I would love it. And as I talk about Chubby Diaries has 2.5 million impressions across all of our social media platforms a month. Chubby Diaries has been considered a top 100 travel blogs and top 5 Black travel blogs for 2021. We're the #1 online platform for plus size travelers. We offer compelling content, adventurous travel tours, community-based events. Like, I'm saying all of this to say, like, this is a part of the brand. When I actually go speak to people, when I actually have meetings with people, I actually like to show them this stuff, because I am over here showing people like, hey, this is my brand. This is Chubby Diaries. This is what Chubby Diaries is about. If you don't know, now you know. And so this is one thing, the reason I wanted to mention all of this is not to brag on like the accomplishments of Chubby Diaries, but to also just show people like, hey, these are the part of the things that make up a brand, being able to share these things. And so today we'll work on your brand inventory. You'll learn how to build credibility, and then we'll hop right into questions and answers. I'm going to try to make this lesson as quick as I can so that we can get right into the questions, because I know for a fact y'all are going to come with the questions, and I am going to try my hardest to answer as many as I can within this short amount of time. So here we go. Y'all ready? Because I'm ready. Hey, all right, so brand inventory. We're going to talk about the who, the what, the why, the how, the tone, the imagery, and your logo design. So I'm just going to assume y'all don't have any of it, and if you do, that's good for you. But I'm going to bring it back down to the basics so that we can like literally be able to just help people out with the 101 to building a brand. So we'll start with the who. The who. Who are you? Who is your audience? This is like one of the first questions you should be asking yourself. Who are you? For example, for me, my name is Jenkins. I like to travel. I'm fat and I'm Black. That is literally how I describe myself when I filled this out, because this is the one thing that I realized, like just some of the essence of who I am. I knew I wanted to be a travel brand. I knew I wanted to be like a travel content creator, influencer. And so it was like, that was the first question, like, who are you? Like, what makes me unique? What is unique about me? And I can tell you right then, I was like thinking to myself, I was like, man, you know what? Like, bro, I don't know that many people that talk about being fat and traveling. So let's talk about that. So that's like who I am. And then it was like, who is your audience? So on top of that, I realized like, hey, I'm fat. There's other people that's fat. Why don't I talk about that? I don't know why that just all rhymed, but it did. But what I'm getting at is that like I realized that that's my audience. My audience is the plus size community, and I wanted to reach all 138 million of them that's here in the United States. So that's the first question you want to ask yourself. Who are you and who is your audience? So definitely, please write this down, take notes, start thinking about it, because this is definitely the thing that's going to help you with your brand. So the next one is what? What benefits do you provide? How do you help? So for me, we provide compelling content. We give them tours and community-based events. Most of that was pre-COVID when it come down to like the tours and the community-based events. But we still are providing content that is like tips and tricks on like how to travel. As a plus size person, this is the airlines that's actually going to provide for you. So you want to keep all that stuff in mind. Like this is one of the biggest things is like what the benefit is. Like a lot of times I've been like witnessing other influencers or talking to people because I do a lot of consulting as well. I've learned that like people just think that it's all about them and they'll just post only about them. So it's never like how they are helping them. It should always be how you can be helping the other person. So keep that in mind. That's the what. Your why. Why do you do it? What are your values? I tell people the reason why I do Chubby Diaries is because I want the travel space to be more inclusive. Like there's a lack of accessibility, there's a lack of community, and there's a lack of comfort within the travel space. And I want to change that. And that's what I do. So our logo is redefining what it looks like to travel. So that's what we're doing. Like this is the reason why I'm doing it. And I know that it's going to be adding value to so many people's lives, because out of that 138 million people that are considered obese or overweight in America, I know that is going to change the way that they travel. And I did a little survey, and 99% of the people said that they would take an extra trip if the travel industry made things more accessible and they were able to have a community and comfort. So that's why I do what I do. So that is a question that y'all should be asking yourself of like, why? Why do I do it? What are your values? The how do you want your audience to feel? So for me, the reason you didn't come out right. So the how, like the way that I want my audience to feel, I want them to feel empowered. I want them to feel motivated. I want them to feel encouraged, because one of the biggest things that I know as a plus size traveler, one of the biggest fears that they have is getting on an airplane. The reason is because we all know that these airplane seats seem to keep shrinking. And even now with everybody trying to go to more of that economy style stuff, I was just on American the other day. They not my favorite. If you're a part of American, my fault. I don't really like y'all. But man, I tell y'all, they jam pack these seats into these planes, and like the space between seats are just getting horrible. So the one thing that I want people to do is like, man, I want to be able to show them how they like, hey, like this is what it is. Here are some tips and tricks to get around it. But I also am like also trying to show them this the representation of like, hey, you can get out there too. You can live your life. Like I went shark diving in South Africa. When I was shark diving in South Africa, I've never seen a bigger person or a person of size wear a wetsuit. So me being able to rock a wetsuit, and then I know that when my audience got to see that, they were then empowered and encouraged, like, oh, snap, they got wetsuits out there that's big enough that can fit me. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the motivation. That's the empowerment. Because I always tell people, like, this plus size travel movement, it's a movement. Like, we're building this community as a movement because we know that we can be powerful in by numbers. And so that I know that having those numbers can change this industry. Next one is your tone. What's your personality, the mood, and what do you want to convey? So for me, a lot of people know I'm Mr. Positivity. I'm coming with it. I'm coming with this smile. People always tell me every time they back, man, Jeff, I love your smile. I was like, you know what, guys, this is my moneymaker. I realized at a very, very quickly that people like seeing me smile in my pictures. And I've learned that that actually broke down walls. That broke down a lot of stuff. Like when they first see me, they'd be like, hey, that's a big guy. But man, I throw that smile on, they'd be like, oh man, I like this guy. I want to hear what he has to say. So I try to come with like different colors. Like even right now, I have on something colorful. If y'all don't know, I'm actually in the Virgin Islands right now in a hotel or in my resort room, and I'm living my best life out here. But I'm talking about like those colors. Like I want bright colors. I want more of a fun, but still have like this underlying seriousness about what it is that I'm doing. So that's the tone, that's the mood that I have. Like I'm not on here to be militant, but I know that when you have the proper tone, and that militant personality could be you, that could be your tone. But for me, that's not. So think about your tone, think about the mood that you want to convey on your social media platforms and things like that. And then going into the imagery, the visuals that you want to represent. What visuals do you want that represent you? So for me, I think about like Chubby Diaries. Chubby Diaries has this still. I realized before that like plus size people get this like gregarious, like the way that people look at plus size people sometimes is it's always in this like jovial kind of way. And so I wanted to continue to bring some of this sleek, like sexiness to traveling or even being a plus size person. Because man, shout outs to the body positivity movement. They taught me how to love my body the way that I am. So I still try to convey that even in the imagery of my post, the way that I put my pictures. I want people to see that, man, I'm looking good because my outfits be on point. But even in like my website, to my logo, everything that I have for Chubby Diaries, it represents Chubby Diaries and like my tone and everything else that I mentioned before. So think about your imagery. What are those visuals that represent you and what you do? And then logo. Think about your colors. What do you want your logo to look like? So if you don't have a logo, I'm gonna tell you this now, y'all. And I don't have this one on here. To actually be a brand, you're gonna need a logo. At the end of the day, you're gonna need a logo. If you don't know how to get a logo, or you find out that some of these logos or people that design logos are super expensive, I can tell you right now, you can go over to Fiverr. That is FIVVER.com. Is it VV or IR? I can't remember. I just lost that. Wait, was it? That's what it is? Fiverr, Fiverr.com. You can definitely go find you a logo for like 50 bucks and definitely get you a logo, because that's the one thing that's going to like give you that stamp of approval in a lot of ways, or that credibility that you want. Because with a brand, it's all about the repeating of stuff. People have to continue to see something. So for me, I have that Chubby Diaries with the plane that goes through it. And then I have the C and the D. Like, I want people, when they see that, I want them to be able to do that. McDonald's, we all know that the golden arches is a thing. KFC, Colonel Sanders, like there's logos and images for everything. And so you definitely need a logo, and you need to know what your colors are going to be and what you want it to look like. And that's definitely, I would definitely say that will be one of the coolest little projects for you to do, is go on Fiverr or go to these, Upworks is another one that you can go to and find your logo. And I'm telling you, like, man, once you get your logo right, and also know this, when you are designing your logo, they're going to ask you all these questions. Like, what do you want it to look like? What you want your colors to be? And then you like, they put it in, and then they try to start making and try to bring your vision to life. Also know that a lot of them try to find the ones that do unlimited revisions. You don't, and I was one of them people. Like, I paid the person to do the logo at first, and when he did the logo, I was like, I don't know if I really like this, and I was like, ugh. And thank God I had a cousin who was cutthroat and was like, Jeff, you paid for this. You make them do it until it meets your needs, until it meets what you were trying to go for. And so I'm glad I did that. And I'm glad, I think it took me maybe like 7-8 times of him going back to the drawing boards and bringing me back something new before I knew, like, bam, that's it. That's it. Oh yeah, I like that. I like how that plane swooshes over there like that. So keep that in mind. Make that one of your projects. And so really quickly, with your brand inventory, you need to know your who, your what, your why, your how, your tone, your imagery, and your logo. Y'all got that? Perfect. Here we go. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go through it so we can get to these questions. So now we're going to move on to brand credibility, or building credibility. Jeff, why is credibility so important? Let's get into it. One of my favorite books, and I would tell everybody or anybody to go read this book. If y'all been a part of any presentation I've ever done in my life, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone is the book to get, because I'm telling y'all, people always keep asking me this question. They were like, dang, Jeff, how you like just grow that quick? Because I was like, man, it's that book. I always tell people The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone is that book that helped me grow. So he mentions in the book that the biggest obstacle new brands face is obscurity. You got me, y'all? I'm gonna repeat it. The biggest obstacle that new brands face is obscurity. People don't know who you are. And a lot of times, as a new brand, and he mentions it in there, he talks about how, like, a lot of times people get in their feelings when they realize, like, when people like, oh, you don't know who I am? Like, man, I've been putting out these posts. Like, nah, bro, like, no, nobody knows who you are. Or they don't even know, like, hey, like, are you a credible source? So knowing that the biggest obstacle as a new brand that you will face is obscurity, you have to start building credibility. And one way that he talks about it is through your content, through the way that you do it. I remember when I first was doing Chubby Diaries, the only couple of people that was looking at my stuff was my mama and my wife. Them the only two people who was liking my posts. And then I had to like keep putting it out there and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about it a little bit right now. So how do I build my credibility? So it says, why is credibility so important? The reason why credibility is so important is because you want people to know you. And once they know you, you need them to like you. And then from liking, you need them to trust you. You got me? And going back to even what Grant Cardone talked about earlier about like just how the stages of growth happen when it comes down to building the credibility for your brand. At first, like I told y'all, when I was first posting, it was just me, or it was me, my mama, and my wife that was liking my posts. That was like, hey, everybody, Chubby Diaries, this is who we are. And nobody really cared. Or people was like, oh, okay. And so it first started with people saying, like, oh, okay, Jeff, so what you got going on? So you doing what? You doing something with travel? Oh, okay, cool, cool. So it went from them like getting to know, and then it went like, so as I kept posting, as I kept doing the stuff, building this credibility, it went from people being like, oh man, how that one thing you got going on? What's the name of it? Chubby Diaries. How's Chubby Diaries going? It went from that, then it moved on as we kept building, as we kept growing from that to like, man, dope. Chubby Diaries, how's Chubby Diaries doing, man? I saw that post the other day, man. I loved it. Yo, I shared it out to my friend. And then even from there, it goes to, yo, I don't know you, but I met you, or I've heard of your brand through my other friend who told me about your brand. And like, man, that's what like that building of that credibility looks like. So you want people to know, like, and trust you. Once they start getting to that place, that's when things start happening. The magic starts happening. So I want to give y'all the 5 ways to build credibility. The first one is collaborations. If you can see on the left, I did this one campaign, and this is actually one of my first campaigns I ever did, was with Life Straw, and it's 5 of us over there. And I think 2 people are missing, maybe one, just one. But doing this collaborations with different brands, and then even the content creators and the influencers, like that really helps build credibility. They see you with them and they're like, oh snap, that's cool. Like, oh man, okay, like who is this guy? I think I need to get to know him more. And so that's what people will start doing with you. And then the networking. As you start getting in this, I would tell y'all right now, y'all, if y'all ain't on Clubhouse, I don't know what to tell you. You ain't trying to build a brand. And the reason I say why on Clubhouse right now is single-handedly, since we're in the pandemic, is literally the best networking tool that you can do right now. This was one of the best networking platforms that you can be on right now. I'm right now meeting people that I never thought I would meet, or people that weren't even in my hemisphere before. Now that they are, I've gotten multiple brand deals from it, or multiple connections that led to like a couple of brand deals. And then I also am now speaking on different conferences because of just being on Clubhouse. Even, and I'm not saying that you have to be like this, like, oh, Jeff, like, well, you Jeff, like you part of Chubby Diaries. Chubby Diaries is like, has grown, like it's this big entity. But I can tell you right now, with Clubhouse, you can start smaller rooms. You can start rooms where it's like, hey, I'm a brand new content creator. Let's meet up. Let's talk. Like those kind of rooms are going to be the ones where it's like people that are in the same place that you're at, that y'all can learn and grow with each other, and y'all can be in whole nother states or whole other cities or countries. And that's what I'm saying. So definitely get on Clubhouse, because Clubhouse, and you need to make Clubhouse work for you. Don't just get on there and just go listen to people. You feel me? Y'all need to get on there and create rooms together. I don't know how many people in this thing right now, but however many people in here right now, it's about 40 y'all. I can't ever see it. It's 39 of y'all in here right now. I would say y'all find out these people that's on here, because everybody on here trying to do the same thing. They trying to build their brand. So why not collaborate? Why not network with these people on here? Check them out. You know what? And that's what y'all can do. We'll stop real quickly. And go ahead, if y'all could, go ahead and put your IG tags in it. Go ahead and put your IG profiles. I'm over here helping y'all out. See, this is my gift to you again. Here you go. Go ahead and put your IG tags or profile tags in the comments, because I definitely think this will be one beneficial way of y'all getting to network with each other. And then when y'all DM each other and y'all go follow each other, like, man, make this a community. Make this a part of the network. This is how we network. You can also network through BTA. BTA is building our membership So this is another way to network. So I'm telling y'all, networking is super duper powerful because it'll get you in places that you can't get yourself in. And so the other thing to building credibility, it used to be business cards. You do not need a business card no more. I can tell y'all that now. A lot of people still use business cards, but you ain't got to use it. The thing you need is a website. Website is your electronic business card. I'm telling y'all, if somebody can go on Google, because man, I've had so many people. I've had so many people, like I tell them about Chubby Diaries, and while they're next, like they could be standing next to me while I'm still talking or doing something else, they'll start Googling my stuff. Like they'll like right there, they'll be like, oh, let me check this man out. Let me see if he say he is who he is. And like getting on there and you find out, man, they didn't went to your website and looked at everything and then show you like, oh snap, he on Chubby Diaries. I also found out that brands go to my website. I found out that potential collaborations and stuff like that, they all go to your website. So having a website, you can build a website. I've learned this. WordPress is not that hard to learn. If you want to continue to grow and you want your website to grow, WordPress is definitely the go-to website generator. But people still use Wix. That's how I first built mine out, was on Wix or Squarespace. And it's easy to create. It's not that hard to create a website. And I was able to do it. I have no background. I actually got my degree in music education. So my background was not in like IT at all. So get a website. That's your new calling card. That is the one thing that people will look at. And it's nothing like being people be able to search your brand on Google. You want them to be able to find you on Google. You feel me? And so then the fourth one is social media. That's another calling card. That is definitely a way to build credibility. As you continue to grow on social media, as you continue to post, I meant to say, as you continue to create content, like that helps build the movement. That helps build. You think that people say that like, oh, analytics aren't everything, or like people having followers. Followers do mean a lot. People, they see that, like as much as we say like, it's okay if I only have 10 likes. Nah, people, brands want to see, like people notice brands, or people notice people's profiles and stuff from their likes, from their engagement. So just keep that in mind. Build your social media platform, because that's going to definitely help with the credibility as well. That's how I've gotten a lot of my brand partnerships. That's how I've gotten to speak all over, because of my social media account. And that's how I'm able to convey what it is that I want to tell the world. This is how I'm able to project it. I forgot what book I was reading, but I love how it says that it's nothing but a tool. That's what social media is. Even with the website, it's nothing but a tool. So thinking about a fax machine, a phone, like social media is nothing but a tool about getting your message to multiple people. And it's the better tools, because before you had to be in a newspaper, you had to be on TV to build your brand. But now you don't have to do that. You can literally start, anybody, a 12-year-old can get on there and build a whole brand just from social media alone. So just keep that in mind and think about the importance of that. And then press features. I can't stress this. I like this one a lot. And I think my girl Glow from Glow Graphics taught me this. Like, for some reason, when people see you in publications, that continues to help your validity. Like now the world is like, oh, okay, well, if he's in Forbes or if she's in Washington Post or New York Times, like, oh man, I guess that like is, hey, I guess I gotta listen to her, huh? But I'm saying all this because I do want to take some of the mysticalness out of it. It is what it is, y'all. You feel me? So like you being able to be featured in these different publications definitely help. I promise y'all, Dr. Nadine, who's on here right now, when I saw her in Oprah's magazine, I said, oh my gosh. I was like, she's in Oprah's magazine. Oh, I'm gonna listen to her a little bit more. You know, I don't know what happens. We do it. We're humans. That's what we do. So I wanted to quickly talk really quickly on that. I love this quote from my friend Onika Raymond. She says, while I think that, or while I think that instead of asking, okay, I think I might have put this in wrong. Instead of asking yourself, how can I get outlets to interview, write about me? The question the question should actually be, what am I doing that is worth or worthy of press coverage? Sorry, y'all. I just put that in there today and I messed it all up, but it's fine. What I'm trying to get at is this. Understand this. A lot of people do come to me and they're asking me, like, Jeff, like, bro, how you keep getting in these press? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is that? And it's like the thing that I had to continue to ask myself was, what am I doing that's worthy enough to get this press coverage? What am I doing? What is your brand doing to get out there so that people can actually notice you? I also love one thing that Onika talks about. One thing that as women and people of color, we don't do well enough is self-promotion. We don't talk about ourselves enough. White men do it all the time. And that's the one thing that we have to do. We have to be shameless about our accomplishments. We have to be shameless about the things that we're trying to do as a brand. And so keep that in mind. If y'all see this beautiful little picture, y'all, one of the best feelings in the world is that you can go walk into an airport little shop, gift shop or whatever, and see the whole little magazine section. And that's me picking up 3 copies of the January edition of Travel and Leisure and seeing one of your pieces of work in there. And like that to me is amazing. Like, so that's the part of just even with that the validity of like, oh, you know what, Travel and Leisure is one of the world's largest travel magazines, and they was like, oh, they put this guy in there, they let this guy write and stuff like that. So that's, I'm telling y'all, it's such a fun ride. It's so cool to be able to continue to build your brand. So many people have reached out to me just because of that feature, or just because of that piece that I did in there. And I'm actually featured again in the February edition for Black Travel, and why it matters in America. So, or around the world. So that's the cool part too. And then, and this is just me showing y'all, because I was just telling y'all before, like, it's super cool to be like featured in all of these different places. I'm saying this to y'all not to brag, but to show y'all that y'all can do it too. Being able to be featured in these different publications is definitely where you want to go. And I know y'all probably gonna have a lot of questions about this. So we about to jump right into it because, yeah, it's question and answering time. Thank y'all so much. This is my quick presentation. I hope this really did help. And I know y'all probably gonna get a lot out of these questions and answers because I knew I couldn't talk about a lot of things right then. So let's go ahead and jump right into the questions. Nadine has been keeping up with the questions, I believe.
Yes, I have. To start, first of all, thank you so much, Jeff. That was absolutely amazing. You gave so much great information. Loved it. So there were a few questions. I just put a link in because one of the last questions was someone asking, what's your advice about being able to get into some of these publications? Like, how do you recommend beginners getting featured in publications?
For sure, for sure. So that y'all know, there's like a couple of ways to get into it. First is you being featured, like somebody like literally hitting you up and being like, hey, or you pitching them and being like, hey, this is who I am, this is my brand, this is what we do, and I would like to be featured. So you can actually pitch a story, or you can pitch your brand to these different publications. But then, like I was just saying before, you can pitch a story to where they interview you, or you're the one doing the write-up. So I just pitched, since I am in the Virgin Islands right now, I just pitched Lonely Planet to do a piece here on like how the Virgin Islands is keeping travelers safe during the pandemic. So that was one thing that I did. I reached out, I found, well, now I have a really good relationship with Lonely Planet because of just me writing for them already, and then also winning an award from them. But if it was anybody else, you can get on you can get on, what is that thing called? LinkedIn.
Mhm.
LinkedIn is definitely a great way to find out who's the editor in chief of these different publications. So if you want to do a story, you can go find, you usually can find their information. So if you was like, hey, who's the editor in chief of Lonely Planet, you can go to Lonely Planet's thing and you can see in the people category, because LinkedIn is definitely the place to go find it. And then you just pitch them there. There's a lot to pitching. So I definitely would tell you to do your research on even how to pitch a little bit more. And that definitely will help out a lot.
And I'll mention one of our other members, Travis Levius, who is a freelance writer. He has courses and information on freelance pitching. So if you do want to get into that, he's a great resource. He's Mr. Levius, I want to say, on Instagram, on social
Yeah.
media. And
And then
so,
Haro is another one. Haro
yes.
help a
Mhm.
reporter out.
Help her.
So
Yep.
you can actually go to that website now, and you can sign up as a contributor, as a person that. So what happened is that each day, I think like 3 or 4 times throughout the day, they
Yep.
send different um, they send different like questions or pitches that the publications are asking for, reporters are looking for. Like they're actually looking for advice from influencers, from different writers. And so they'll put it out there like, hey, I'm looking for anybody that's been to the Virgin Islands and can tell me about this, or give me your 5 best things to do. So they'll put that out there, and you can put your request out there like, hey, I can give you this information. So definitely sign up. Haro is definitely a great way to get in publications as well.
Yep, and I put the link there for that. So
Thank
that
you.
is, and here I am sharing Travis's information. So for people who want to do more freelance and pitch to people, then that's a great person to check out his page for that. Somebody else mentioned in terms of I've been quoted a few times in Washington Post or USA Today. How should I promote that? So on your website, I think a bunch of us will have like, as featured in, on your media kit, like whenever you've been featured or linked in anything, make sure you have that on your media kit, on your homepage, so that people know you've been featured in the publications, kind of like Jeff had his Travel and Leisure magazine up. You can have pictures of that. That was a question there. Somebody
Yeah,
did
I
ask
put it
it.
in. I put it in my profile too. I put that, like, put that in your profile.
Yeah,
Like your profile is like your bio. Like it's your not bio. It's more of your. Well, it is a bio, but that is a place, like that's another calling card, like to where people can be like they can find out who you are from just your bio. And that was one thing that I was doing a lot of, was audits of people's face or Instagram bios, and helping them like jazz it up so that it actually made people want to stop and be like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? Let me follow this. Let me hit that like button and
yeah.
stuff like that. So
Somebody did ask here about where to get stats on like plus size information. Where do you source information for stats on plus size Black travelers? I don't know if you have anywhere that you source information on that.
well, yeah, Chubby Diaries, and we actually have a report that'll be coming out soon, because I literally just have it on my own, and I usually just put it in my media kit. So I have a lot of those stats in my media pitch or kit and in my press kit. But I do want to produce a whole report, because our fearless leader Martinique Lewis, she has taught me how to make reports. Reports are really good, but I have them in my pitch deck and in my media kit.
Oh, awesome. Someone earlier on did ask, what's one thing you learned the hard way that you would give advice on? Like if you had to do it over, that you would advise someone on. What was like the toughest thing you learned in the beginning?
Um, who? Thank God that book. I'm telling you, it was I, that book, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. He talked about obscurity. That was the first thing, but he also talks about like dreaming big, like actually going for these like big dreams. He
Mm,
says that a lot of new brands fail because they don't dream big enough. Like they dream to do stuff that's obtainable. Like, you know what, man? You know what? I want to make $40,000 by the end of this year. Like that can actually happen, right? But he
mm,
was saying like you need to have dreams so big that it gets you excited every time you think about it. That you
mm,
get excited, like meaning that, man, this might not come. It actually might not ever happen. But then again, it might not come for years down the road. And when you start dreaming big like that, that's the part that gets you excited. And so I had to like learn that for myself. Like, y'all, I want to go into space. You hear me?
on
Space.
the space.
Like literally breaking the Earth's atmosphere is what I want to do. Like
Yeah.
I want my own travel show. I want to be a part owner of the Orlando Magic. Like these are the things. Like before, I did not give myself permission to do that. And once I started doing that, that's when things started moving for me.
Mm,
Like when I started like having these big dreams and big goals, like that's when things started happening. Because what happens is that once you're like you have like this trajectory that you're trying to go, like to me, it's like shoot for this, like you're shooting for the moon.
mm,
Like as you shoot for the moon and strive for the moon, all of these other things just like manifest themselves and happen under you. So for me, I got to see all of these new things that manifest themselves. I didn't know I was going to be in an article that says I'm one of the most influential people in travel. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know that they were going to give me travel best for 2021 for Lonely Planet. That's what I'm getting at. It's those me understanding like and like really working, like me understanding that I'm working towards these other dreams and goals, that there's so much other stuff that happens at the bottom. So learning and giving yourself permission to dream bigger than
yeah.
what you do now. Because I'm telling you, I've had this conversation with so many people, and so many adults get so icky and they start cringing when they start thinking about the dreams and goals that they did not fulfill, or the fact that they actually haven't dreamed really at all since they were like little kids.
Mm,
So yeah, keeping that one in mind, and then just learning how to stay on top of my my posting and
mm.
content creation. That was always one that got me.
Yep, yep, I agree with that. A few people have asked what made you switch from Wix to WordPress.
Ooh,
What
ooh.
does
I
that
can tell you, y'all. So Wix, and Kern was on here too. But Wix, I can tell y'all that it has its own server, right? And his server is small, and
entail?
people are fighting for attention on Wix. So my website is super slow.
Mm,
It does not do well when it comes down to ranking on Google.
mm,
Although you can find me on Google, it still is not allowing like my posts to make it to like the higher parts of Google. So if like people were asking what are the top 5 things for plus size people to do here, my stuff doesn't come up. So I'm getting less and less engagement or page views. So moving over to WordPress, you find out that that helps out a lot. Also, to be a part of Mediavine. Mediavine is like the ad company that or agency that helps put ads onto your website. And
mhm.
as you get more people to visit your websites, the more money you get. I know people on on Mediavine that makes $100,000 a month because of Mediavine. You feel me? So
Yeah.
hey, I had to get. I was like, you know what? I don't mind making that, and that's passive income, meaning that they don't have to work. They're making money while they're sleeping. So
Yeah.
I was like, yep, it's time to move. And so moving over to WordPress is what I'm doing right now in this process. And um, so yeah, that's why I moved over.
No, Mediavine's awesome. I've been with them for
Oh,
4 years.
yeah,
They're
and I
like,
meant to say Mediavine will not allow you to be on. They won't accept you if you're on WordPress or Wix or Squarespace.
yeah, no, it's definitely worth it. Um, Someone else asked, for brands, travel brands just starting out, what's the fastest way to grow? How do you convince brands to work with you, like when you're first starting out?
I don't think there is any convincing other than you doing the work. You have to. I like I told y'all before, like Onique was saying, like, what are you doing that's worthy enough? So
Mm,
you have to take other people out of the equation and to continue to think about your brand, think
mm,
about your community, think about growing your community, think about growing your brand. And as you do that, it will happen if you
mm,
continue to consistently grow, like, and build quality content and build a quality brand. People will notice you. They
mhm.
will come for you. They're going to start knocking on your door and being like, hey, or in your DMs, in your emails. And you be wondering, like, man, how you got my email? You don't even know how they got it sometimes. Like, or somebody call you and be like, hey, my name is so and so from blah, blah, blah. How did you get my number? So that's my thing. Like, I promise you, it was not, I was not in a place of like, yo, let me work or let me try to get with all these brands. Like, I was like, nah, I'm gonna keep doing Chubby Diaries. I'm gonna keep doing me, keep growing it, and I bet you people start reaching out. Well, that's what the book was saying, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna believe this book right now, and
Mm,
it worked. So keep building your brand. That's how people get to notice you.
mm. Someone just asked, for content creators who use social media mostly for visibility, um, what social media or platform should they focus on? So
Hey, like
really,
it's you pick your poison, because I can tell you right now, the three or all of them are great. You feel me? You
mm,
can actually become, you can build your brand on any one of them.
mm,
Like, I hate that that's the answer I have to give, but that's the answer I've received when I asked that question. One thing that I did hear that helps is you start on one and then move to another one.
mm,
You feel me? You grow one and then move to the other ones. Or if it works to where you can simultaneously do it, because like even right now, the one that's the fastest growing and has some of the best analytics is TikTok
mm,
and LinkedIn. LinkedIn and TikTok are like, so have some of the best analytics. You
mm,
can jump on there right now and grow a following very quickly.
mm,
And so soon, brands will be able to use TikTok, and they are. People are now moving over to TikTok and actually are using those influencers that are on TikTok. And
mm,
then LinkedIn, I feel like LinkedIn has helped me out so much when it came down to the more professional side of things.
mm.
So I am finding out that that's how people are finding me to come speak on these stages and stuff like that, because of LinkedIn. And I'm just growing organically off of LinkedIn, and I'm getting a lot more followers from LinkedIn.
Oh, okay, awesome. Um, Curwen's asking, do you pitch brands for collaborations, or are they pitching more to you these days?
These days, yes, is the other way around.
Yeah.
Uh, like,
You!
man, first, boy,
That's like the
I call,
holy grail right there when they come to you versus you having to pitch to them.
oh my God, bro, I hate it. I'm telling y'all guys, me and pitching are not friends. I mean, well, the cold pitching, me just like cold emailing somebody, like
Right,
that part sucks. I hate
right.
doing it. So that's why I kept telling myself, y'all can definitely do it. Our friend Gabby Beckford, she's great at pitching. She loves pitching people, and she don't be caring. But for
Right.
me, I'll be over there like, I was like, I'm gonna work my butt off so that brands start pitching me. And
Mm.
like that's
Oh,
what I literally did. I kept telling myself, and understanding my rationale. Y'all also have to know, and I knew I wanted to mention this earlier when that person asked that question about like the about like one of the biggest mistakes if you had to do it over, is to also don't underestimate how long something takes,
mm.
or overestimate as well. Don't underestimate or overestimate, because that's where you can get messed up at. But don't underestimate how hard or how long or how hard something will take to get to. And once I started putting that into the equation, that's when I realized. So me saying that to myself, or me saying like, yo, like I want brands to start reaching out to me. So that means I'm gonna have to go work my butt off to get there.
Hmm.
Like I didn't know when that day was gonna come, but I can tell you when that June hit and like my stuff was in order and it was just like ready, man. Brands since June, literally, I go into a meeting and talk to a brand. Multiple brands reach out to me every single week. You feel me? And that started in June. Like since June, I keep getting that. You feel me? So that's what I'm saying. Like it took over a year and a half, 2 years just to get to that point, but it happened. So just keep that in mind too.
No, that's awesome. That is awesome. Somebody else is asking, how do you handle SEO? Do your interns do the keyword search for you?
You know what? That's a good question. I'm handling the best way I can. My interns don't touch the blog right now. But yeah, I'm not the person to talk about SEO. I can tell y'all that now. Uh, Nadine might know better than me. But now, like SEO, man, it's not as tough, but I know I just put keywords in that need to be in there. And I think a lot of times when I look at some of my stuff, the SEO just works out well. And it does help. But yeah, I don't
I
get
will say one of the, and I just posted a link to our last webinar. We did discuss Mediavine, like how to monetize your brand, because one of the main reasons I honestly monetize is to hire people to do things I'm not interested in. And so one of the things I don't like is SEO. So I do have somebody that does that for me. So I have a VA who does all the keyword research, and I write all my blog posts, but they do all that SEO stuff. So I don't enjoy that. So that's one of the reasons I monetize, is to hire people to do some of the things that I don't enjoy. So somebody else is asking, how do you switch your blog from one website to the other? I didn't know Mediavine doesn't like Squarespace. My blog is on Squarespace. So just to mention, I mean, there's and if you watch that link, I just posted a link about monetizing. There are tons of different ad networks, and we do go over that in that YouTube on that webinar that you can watch, because it's on YouTube, it's on our website, because there are a lot of different ad networks. They all have different requirements. So Mediavine actually increased their requirement recently. You have to have
Yep.
50,000 page views to get on Mediavine. So there's different, I don't want people to now just jump to something to get on a specific ad network, because they all have different requirements. So it does depend on where your blog is at. And there's different ones for different, based on your page views. So definitely take a look at that before you start jumping around. There's obviously ad networks that work with Squarespace. So take a look at that before you start jumping around. And if you don't know how to do it, I definitely recommend a VA. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, definitely a VA or somebody that find somebody that can do it. Fiverr, Upspace, or Upworks, they'll switch over your stuff for you. They get your
Yep.
stuff together. Also, somebody mentioned earlier, other than Canva, are there any other resources that have good or that are good for media kits? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anybody other than, like, Canva is like the place to like create them. And they don't have to be all like immaculate. And so Canva is definitely like the go-to if you want to upgrade. If you don't have the upgrade of Canva, that definitely will help to get you different. Creative Market. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But you know what? The crazy thing is, most of these Creative Market templates were created on Canva. But no, Creative Market is definitely another one to where you can find templates for Pinterest or your social media posts. They definitely is really good. I spent too much money on Creative Market in the past like month and a half, and I need to get off of that. So they taking all my little money.
Oh, and Kerwin just mentioned, let me go back and I can grab that link. We actually also had a whole webinar on SEO. Yeah, there's tons of like courses and books for people who want to learn themselves. So I definitely encourage people, if you can, to learn on your own. And then we also had a webinar on that, actually, that I just shared the link there. So if you go to our website, the Black Travel Alliance website, and you go under events and go to previous events, you'll be able to watch all our previous webinars. For now, they're all available for free. Once we start doing our tiered memberships, some of these are going to be available for free, some will not. So again, make sure you join BTA, Black Travel Alliance, so that you will continue to gain access to all of these educational webinars and training events that we're going to have. And someone mentioned Make Traffic Happen. That's another great resource as well. They have a Facebook group and they have books as well to learn about SEO. Um, let's see if there's any other questions. We're right at the 1 hour mark.
Now, I wanted to mention really
Yeah,
quick. So y'all, I have a brand new course that's coming out in February.
awesome.
It's called Wiki Influencer, and that means wiki means fast. So it's helping different people or helping different content creators, brand new content creators, intermediate content creators that want to continue to grow as influencers to get brand deals and things like that. I have a course coming out in February, so you can join that waiting list by signing up on my email list. If you hit that QR code, it'll actually take you over to my website. And then from my website, all you're going to do is just fill that out. And then I'll send y'all more information in the coming weeks on that. The cool thing about this course that I love so much is that you're actually going to get hands-on experience with different brands, and you'll actually be able to pitch these brands. So we have dozens of brands that are coming on that are going to be able to where you're actually going to be able to pitch them and things like that as well. So that's always going to help. And that's coming out in February. So if you
Oh,
want to, please click on there.
congratulations. That is awesome, Jeff. You're the perfect person for that. I love the name, Wiki Influencer. That's awesome.
Appreciate you.
Oh my God, this has been great. Thank you so much. Again, Jeff Jenkins from Chubby Diaries. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you all for joining. You will get an email with a recording so you can go back and watch us again and take things in that you may have missed. So thank you again. Make sure you join Black Travel Alliance. We will be having our next webinar next month will be on some of the technical things that will help you with your website and getting your website all polished up for when brands come looking, all the essential things that you need. And then in March, we're going to go over content creation, how to keep up with building content for your website and social media, and how to use some time management skills to keep that going. So again, follow us on social media at the Black Travel Alliance, sign up on our website to make sure you get our newsletters. And thank you all for joining. This has been great. Thanks again, Jeff. Hope to see you guys again next month. Bye, everyone.
Bye.